Hello and welcome to the Life by Design podcast, brought to you by Strategic. This podcast is all about helping you live your great life.
Hello and welcome back to the Life by Design podcast. My name is Jay Shalansky, and with Thanksgiving and Giving Tuesday coming up, I thought I would have Nick Accordino back in the studio to talk about charitable giving in general. And as a reminder, Nick's a certified financial planner. He's a lead advisor here at Strategic. And also, for those of you watching on video, we're in a new studio now, so I'm very excited about this.
Looks great.
Yeah, thanks. I'm so glad you're my first guest on this, too, so
it's an honor.
Yeah, we're trying all the new technology and the new studio all with Nick today. So
I will try not to screw it up.
Perfect. Thank you. So, Nick, Giving Tuesday, what is that about?
Yeah, so it was sort of founded actually by a nonprofit organization only in 2012, so not that long ago, as a response really to the growing, Cyber Monday, Black Friday, things of focusing on the giving side of the holiday, which is really what we remind ourselves it's all about. So it encourages mostly small $50, $100 gifts to local organizations in your area. No one's making massive $1 million gifts to these on this day, but it's really just kind of getting in the mindset of we're in the season of giving and being thankful. So if there are places out there that are meaningful to you, Giving Tuesday is a great opportunity to do so.
Yeah, and I think that's great. And, our last episode, Nick and I we dove into more of the minutia and the technical details about financial planning, taxes, RMDs, all that stuff. But today we're just going to talk about charitable giving in general.
Cool.
And I think, one of the first things I wanted to ask you was, with charitable giving, why do we see it as more of part of your financial plan than like as you will giving?
Yeah, it's such a great question because most people, as they come up through adulthood and then into retirement, you might support your kid's t-ball team, or maybe you see a GoFundMe for someone you care about and you want to, sort of give one-off gifts to people or places that are meaningful to you. And financial planning will never replace that. But there are opportunities to include charitable giving as part of your entire plan because there are tax benefits given certain types of gift vehicles or organizations you want to support. And certainly different accounts or different, investments could offer different giving opportunities. And so if you're just given, small gifts here and there, don't stress out about it. Do what feels right to you. But as you grow and beyond that, it really should be a part of it. And you should coordinate with your financial advisor, with your accountant, and even with an estate attorney to make sure that it's part of the entire look of your financial plan.
Yeah, and that was actually one of my questions. Like, so how do you help clients see that charitable giving is part of their larger plan that's including retirement and legacy planning and all of that?
Yeah. So a lot of times people don't really understand they can make bigger gifts than they otherwise think they can. So many people get in the habit of, writing $50 checks. But if you've been saving and investing and growing your wealth over your lifetime, it's possible that you've built up a nice nest egg and you can afford to, and it will be a lot of fun for you to make a meaningful gift to a place to endow a scholarship or do something really nice that can really move the meter. So, we can help clients understand what's an appropriate amount to give, where to make that gift from, looking at your assets, and tax efficiently, is there a good way to do so?
Yeah. So with that, like, if I'm a listener at home and I'm hearing that, what are some questions that I could ask myself to maybe get a little bit clearer of what my personal philosophy of generosity is and like how that looks with my financials?
Yeah. I would say first look, are you volunteering anywhere, right? Do you help at the local animal rescue mission or anything like that? Those are the organizations that you're already spending your own time. Might be worth investing some of your financial resources as well. And so, okay, I found the place that I'm volunteering and they've helped my family. I might want to help them with some of my resources. And so then we take a step to look at, okay, what are your financial resources? There's other considerations. How old are you? what are your long-term legacy goals? And then taking all those pieces together, we can identify, hey, this might be an appropriate gift for you to make.
Yeah.
Let's get the people in the room and put the pieces together to make it happen.
Yeah. And I think that's interesting, looking at what you can give. And sometimes we need to think about, so like, what are some, I don't want to call it warning signs, that seems extreme, but what are some signs that maybe your charitable giving might not be aligned with your broader financial plan?
Yeah, exactly. We always tell people, it's funny, we will see folks who are so overly generous at perhaps a time in their financial building where they shouldn't be or they don't need to be, right? And so, we never want to see anyone making gifts, but then accumulating credit card debt, for example. It is totally reasonable. And in fact, the right thing to do is to make sure that your financial position is sound first, before then you really start to grow your charitable network.
Right.
It's often the right thing to do is to recognize, right now, I'll give what I can and when I can, but I'm saving my most philanthropic endeavors for later in life when I have the chance to build my wealth over time.
Yeah. And I think something to bring up, and I'll, like a news item recently that came up, Warren Buffett, where he had said, I'm giving all my money to my charitable endeavors. And then I think there was a news item that just came out that he actually pulled back off of that and was like, oh, I'm giving some to my kids. Actually, I'm going to give some money to them, and moving around.
Hope the charities weren't planning on it.
Yeah, I think that's one part of it. But I think understanding for you as a listener and for me and everyone that these, estate planning that we do, that's a living document that has to continually be updated, because I think your passions, your ideas of how things should be done change over the years, right?
Yeah, it's a great point. We talked a little bit, we've been talking about gifts sort of in your lifetime, but legacy giving or estate plan giving is super important, is a really critical part of your financial plan, and is often the way you're going to make the biggest donation to any organization. And your estate plan is not a set it and forget it. When we're working with clients, we often recommend, checking in. Sometimes it's every 5 years, every 10 years, especially after any major life events. So any marriages, divorce, births or deaths in the family, or, if you move states, you often want to revisit your plan as well because your residency has changed. But certainly while you're doing that, if you had named a charity as the beneficiary of your IRA, for example, 15 years ago, but things have changed, right?
Yeah.
Either maybe you want to increase that amount, or you're decreasing it because you have more living heirs you want to support. You want to revisit those items and not forget them sort of as, life carries on.
Yeah. Or even if your passions and what you want to be charitable to change, right? You may want to change to a different charity.
Yeah, exactly. I know about the things I like now, but in 40 years from now, I'm sure that will change.
Right. As new things pop up. And of course. I don't know if there are any, but I thought I would ask, are there any myths out there about charitable give that we should be dispelling?
One thing, certainly, some folks don't know if they're wealthy enough or they make enough money to give away. And most times that's not true. Gifts, especially if you live in a smaller area, or, if you're really ingrained in the community, any type of gift to any organization, if you go ask, hey, do you guys need this $100? They're going to be pretty excited about it.
Yeah.
So you don't feel like giving is out of reach just because you don't think you can give away millions.
Yeah.
Another item I'll mention too, and so in my previous work before I came to Strategic, I was in fundraising for a local university, and we would have folks who make estate gifts to the organization, but we never knew about it. And it's so interesting. So, if you are an individual and a donor, you can decide, if I'm naming a charity as a beneficiary of my IRA, do I want to tell them during my lifetime or not? You don't have to. It's your individual and preference. There's benefits, pros and cons to telling them or to keeping that a secret until the time that gift is made. But just, something else to consider as you're building your estate plan and including charitable giving in that plan.
Yeah. And I guess, like, as you say that, some of my thoughts were, if you want it to be more of a surprise, or you don't know what your future is going to look like, so you're like, I'm not going to tell anybody, I'm just going to do it at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's some more intention with letting them know and almost like staggering the gifts. So you could say, hey, my plan over the next 10 years is to give you guys 10 grand or whatever the dollar amount is. And I want to do it in like $2,000 increments every year for whatever. Well, that math doesn't work out, but I'm not the math guy here. I'm in math. I'm on the marketing team. And so 5 years, 2,000 a year for 10,000. But like, it's
for sure.
What the intention is of that and where you want to go.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. If you want to make the gift in your lifetime, or you at least want to inform the place that you're making the gift, you have a bit more say, and you can give it with a bit more intention. You also may be able to see the benefits of those gifts, right?
Yeah.
It's nice to leave a legacy, and that legacy will outlive you. But you may not be able to enjoy it. If you enjoy the act of giving, that might be something that may be a reason to be more public, at least with the organization, about what your decisions in giving will be.
Yeah, and I think it allows them too to make decisions that'll be more in line with your gift giving and what you envision of the legacy that you want to leave.
Yeah, totally. But I also see the other side of the coin where folks, it can be uncomfortable, or it's a private conversation, certainly with your loved ones. And so you may choose to, just let the organization will know when the gift arrives, and they'll celebrate it nonetheless.
Yeah, and I guess it's part of that whole like thought of, hey, I'm doing this for the charitable giving, not for me to get the credit on it. And I think there's probably, if you do the plan, there's a little bit of that like notoriety that with it, because you're telling them and planning it out. Yeah. I think that all makes sense.
Yeah, cool.
So if there's listeners out there that want to be more intentional about their charitable giving and they don't know where to start, like, what's something that they could do this month on Giving Tuesday to get them started?
Yeah. Well, certainly, just kind of organize and get a list of the places that mean the most to you. Or, if you think I want to make a difference today in my community, or to this cause, start thinking about it. Don't let the days get by. I mean, boy, we know that the days fly by this time of year, right? And all of a sudden we blink and it's New Year's Eve. So, don't wait, especially if you are planning on making a gift, because, there are plenty of holidays that interrupts bake schedules. Offices could be closed. So if you're going to make any qualified charitable distributions, or even mailing checks, don't wait till the 31st, get out ahead of it. And, I would just, really kind of sit down and think about it, just like maybe you're planning a vacation, plan what's important to you, and then work with the folks around you to make it happen.
Yeah, I think that's great. So if anybody out there, wants to start being charitable, hopefully this was a good guideline for you to get there. And you can listen to the other episode we did, just that got more into the details about how it works with your plan and everything. But I hope you all have a great Thanksgiving out there. And thanks, Nick, again for joining me.
Yeah, thanks, Jay.
Thank you.
This podcast is for educational and informational purposes only. Please see the full disclosure in our show notes for more information.